Hi, I'm going to read two pieces for you. The first is going to be in my book, which comes out October 1st. It's called Stanley Cup. The afternoon before the Chicago Blackhawks won the 2010 Stanley Cup started as most any Wednesday would. Around 3 p.m., the early birds of the office flock tiptoed toward the streets and homeward, occasionally catching a cab to hasten their flight. The avenues began to thicken and clog with the start of the evening exodus. A blonde in her 20s asked to go to one of the taverns on Madison, a few blocks east of the United Center. "It's not even 4 p.m., so it shouldn't be too bad at West End, right?" she asked. We could see the line of jersey-clad fans circling the building from 2 blocks away. "Oh no, just drop me here, I guess. I don't know where to go now." Bars in every neighborhood filled their sidewalk seats to overflowing with red, white, and black attired revelers. Most eyes glued to the flat screens broadcasting the big game. Others swept along in the overall enthusiasm of the crowd. Driving past with no horse in the race, nothing riding on the outcome, I was free to take it all in at face value. The yelps and whoops escaping from so many windows foreshadowed the roars to come hours later. So many different shaped bodies in uniform put one in mind of a poorly trained militia, with leaderless splinter cells roaming the side streets on mystery missions. Working on this night, as with so many other festive nights, sets one necessarily apart from the masses. Climbing onto the bandwagon at this point would have been ludicrous in any case. Hockey just didn't do a thing for me. When the Blackhawks finally won it, sometime after 10 p.m., the volume of the night went up to 11 and stayed there for hours. From horns blaring to caterwauling celebrators to improvised explosives, my low-grade headache graduated to full-blown migraine in minutes. On Ontario, east of Michigan Avenue, Chicago's finest would have made Old Man Daly beam the way they were preserving the disorder. With cruisers parked perpendicular to create more of a bottleneck than the surging masses managed on their own, the men in blue stuck out their chests and peered this way and that. Clearing their gauntlet somehow, I turned south onto Michigan and picked up a pretty girl in a green summer dress. "How about those Hawks?" is what I think she said, though the ringing in my ears made most speech the barest whisper. 2 women ran into the middle of Randolph in the West Loop and asked to be taken north. We were at Market, and they wouldn't even let us turn the TVs up. Can you believe that shit? That place is full of douchebags anyways. Most of them didn't even turn their heads to watch. Take us someplace we can do it up right. The further north we went on Halstead, the thicker the crowds became. Many reaching in to slap hands and holler at every passing vehicle. The car horns continued to blare, punctuated occasionally by more piercing reports from more distant quarters. Coming up to Fullerton and Western, a plume of smoke rose, spread over the entire intersection as streets and sandmen shoveled sand to douse a trash bin set ablaze. Many overcome costumed zealots had to be dodged with deft maneuvers, as they seemed no longer to accept the sidewalks as their natural habitat. Somebody liked that one. The migraine mutated and throbbed in heretofore unknown sectors of my cranium. The Go Hawks screams went on and on despite the fact that they'd gone as far as there was to go. Near 2 a.m., it was time to call it a night, but not before picking up a couple who said they'd be paying by debit card, before ducking out of sight and proceeding to have at each other in the most desperate way. With the ride being barely a mile in duration, their amazing ardor could only get them so far. So, fixing their clothes back into place as best they could, they stumbled out to continue marking the home team's big night behind closed doors. End of part 1.